You're watching the VSO Gun Channel. Thank you guys for tuning in today. It's excellent to have you here as always. And if you feel so inclined, then please interact with the video in some way. It definitely helps out by telling the machine that more people need to see this video that otherwise would see it. And we have verifiable data that that's how that works. So thank you very much for doing your part. Now, it has been an absolute privilege to bring to you guys news of all the Second Amendment happenings, all the wins that we've been getting and ground that we've been gaining in the space. Unfortunately, today I have a loss to talk to you about, and I think it's important that we focus on losses probably more than we celebrate the wins, because losses have a way of showing you where the mistakes are, where the potential pitfalls are for future efforts in litigation that we might want to pursue. So that's what we're going to do today. Kentucky Gunworks is best known for their research and development into lubrication technology. Their enhanced reliability oil is the product that I choose to use to keep my stuff running year round, and they've also recently released their minimalist quick-released sling retainers. KGW offers VSO subscribers a discount, and you can find that information over at the affiliates page. Special thanks to them for making today's video possible. For anybody who is finding themselves onto this video that may be perhaps ignorant of the situation with suppressor ownership in the United States, there are two avenues by which you can obtain a suppressor. The first is to manufacture it yourself, and the second is to purchase it from a licensed manufacturer, or a licensed dealer that purchased it from a licensed manufacturer. So those happen through a Form 1 and a Form 4 respectively, and it goes something like this. We're going to use the Form 4 process, the just transferring the item as the example. You purchase the item, you pay your $600 or $800 for your property, and then you also, on top of that, submit to an additional sin tax in the form of a $200 tax. It's completely unconstitutional to tax a right, but we'll move on from there. You then also have to submit that Form 4 with copies of your fingerprints and your photograph, as well as all of your personal information, and submit to a intrusive, unconstitutional, lengthy background check that takes about 10 months. And then once that form is approved, then you can obtain your property that you have been taxed on and paid for months ago. Absolutely ridiculous, I understand. Power that derives the ability to be able to regulate these was given to the ATF by Congress, and was given to Congress through the Interstate Commerce Clause. It basically says, hey, if there's interstate commerce, the federal government has the power to regulate that commerce. Well, a law was passed by the state of Texas saying, hey, we get what you guys are doing with interstate commerce. Cool, you guys go ahead and do that. However, we're going to start allowing manufacturers in our state that use Texas-derived materials to produce Texas-manufactured suppressors that are to be sold to Texas residents only, will reside in the state of Texas, and only be used in the state of Texas. And that effectively says that is not interstate commerce, that is intrastate commerce. Words have meaning. So you, the federal government, do not have the power to regulate what goes on inside our state and stays within our state, whether you like it or not. Even though that law passed both houses of the Texas State Legislature, which is the body that represents the will of the people and their government, and was subsequently signed into law by the governor of Texas, implementation of the law has been delayed while they got the buy-in of the Federal Department of Justice. And of course, the Federal Department of Justice, being run by who they are run by, said, no, we have this beautiful scheme set up where we're able to extract $200 per purchase from your citizens. You can't take that away from us. Well, effectively, that castrated the law, and Texas citizens sued to say, hey, you are denying us of our rights. The Texas state government also joined the lawsuit to say, hey, you are abusing our citizens of their rights. Well, I'm going to read you a few excerpts from this court decision, because essentially what the court said was, hey, y'all don't have standing to do this. Individual plaintiffs are citizens who wish to make silencers at home without filing an application or paying the tax. They allege that it violates their Second Amendment rights for federal government to require them to seek permission and pay a tax to make silencers at home for personal, non-commercial use. America, let's keep going. Plaintiffs also allege that they do not intend to make their silencers from any major component part manufactured outside the state of Texas, that they intend to own these silencers in perpetuity, and that they seek to make these for the exclusive purpose of home defense. Hear, hear, but this is where it gets sticky. But plaintiffs have neither alleged that they in fact possess an illegal, non-registered silencer, nor that they have attempted to complete the application to make one or paid the tax. It's like $250,000 fine and a 10-year prison sentence. So, they're not going to admit to committing a major felony that also would carry a firearms disability.
It's a trap!
The state of Texas joins as a plaintiff to vindicate what it sees as its quasi-sovereign interests and its residents' ability to make silencers at home uninhibited by federal regulation. Texas alleges that its residents' physical and economic well-being are at stake because the making and use of these silencers would protect an individual's ability to hear would-be home intruders and improve their ability for self-defense. Have I said that I love Texas? Alleging that a law is unconstitutional does not remove a plaintiff's burden to establish standing to challenge it. To sue, a plaintiff must be concretely injured by the law that they seek to challenge. Individual plaintiffs have not attempted to apply to make and register a silencer, and assuming that they are correct about the unconstitutional nature of the requirements, it is immaterial whether an application is ultimately approved or denied. Either an application is wrongfully denied and the plaintiff is injured because the government has deprived them of a silencer, or an application is approved and a plaintiff is injured by being subject to the process and tax. But individual plaintiffs intend by itself to make a silencer in violation of these requirements fails to establish that they have been concretely injured by the process they seek to challenge. Now, while I do not agree with the outcome of what was written there, I think that if we're intellectually honest about this, that was logical. And it's relatively cut and dry, okay? The judge basically said, hey, you didn't actually incur any damage. You could have very easily, but you didn't. From that, going on to the Texas standing, I find this to be substantially more reaching than the cut and dry explanation that we got for the individual standing. And I'm just going to paraphrase this really quick because it's a little bit more lengthy. Basically, the plaintiffs said, hey, we have a situation very similar where a regulatory agency was smacking the citizens around in the state of Massachusetts, and the state of Massachusetts was able to sue on their behalf, even though the Second Amendment is a fundamental enumerated right in the Bill of Rights. Texas does not have the ability to sue on behalf of their citizens. I find that to be incongruent, but that's basically what the judge said. And what that tells me is that this judge wanted to punt so hard. He did not want to be the guy that the leftists were going to attack for the next several years, probably. So we're going to move on to the conclusion. Under Article 3, cases or controversies only exist when a plaintiff has standing to sue, and a party's dislike of a federal law does not give them standing to challenge it. Because neither the plaintiff nor the state of Texas have standing, there is no case or controversy before the court. Therefore, the court grants defendant's motion for summary judgment and denies plaintiff's cross motion for summary judgment. The court further orders that the case is dismissed without prejudice. Now, it's important that he says that the case is dismissed without prejudice. What that means is that this case could be refiled by the same plaintiffs, having changed some aspects of their case. Maybe they go home and file some Form 1s or something like that. Very simple. It takes a couple minutes to file the forms. You don't have to have any of the materials. You literally just have to pay the tax and submit the form. The kicker there is that it's going to take probably about 10 months, and I bet you they push that one really long, for them to either get denied or approved. So I would guess that that's when that would pick up. However, I assume that they're going to appeal this case to the next level. And in the meantime, I would hope that the plaintiffs would log on to eForms and file their damn Form 1s so that this doesn't happen the next time around. But while I am not happy about this outcome, as I said, I think that there is clear light at the end of the tunnel on this one, and the judge basically handed them the means to the end by saying, go file a Form 1 so that you have proper standing in the court so that we don't get smacked around by anybody who wants to make an issue of this. Cross your T's and dot your I's, we can probably get this done. Is basically what the judge, the way that I read this, that he gave them a free handout. And I think that he hopefully thinks that it doesn't land back in his court. So I want to know what you guys think in the comments section down below. What's going to happen with this one? And if I have any updates on this, then I will follow up with you in as fast a manner as I possibly can as soon as I get the news. So thank you all for watching, and hopefully we'll see you on another video here at the VSO Gun Channel. They're going to want to censor this video, so please hit me up in the buttons down below.